So Romans, that there is a map of Athens and the Athens metro system. Just arrived earlier on today, just been waiting around for a while because I can't check into the hotel. Loads of people just sitting at the airport sleeping, but anyway, we're on the train. We will be on the train soon. Straight into Athens, gonna get some euros, gonna check into the hotel, get something to eat, go to the shops, and then after a quick nap, we're gonna be out and about in Athens, Greece. Yay! We are in downtown Athens. Just got out at Attika, which is fairly near where I'm staying. So there's a Bank of Greece here, which is good for withdrawals, and there's a Lidl, which is a really kind of budget-friendly supermarket. So just having a look around. Pretty laid back. It's not North Africa, that's for sure. Very multicultural, very kind of nice. Feels kind of peaceful. Sunday today, so maybe that's not so surprising. But yeah, let's go and withdraw some euros. Big money. This baker's, how good does that look? Lots of bagels and pastries and spinach and oh my god, a whole different world of food. So exciting. So first meal in Greece, an egg bread thing, which is absolutely delicious. It's got cheese around the outside. I think it's got some ham in there, so I'm going to have to pick that out. Look more carefully, Kev. And then an orange and apricot and apple drink, which is absolutely delicious. And this is just really tasty. So it's like €3.40. A pretty good value. Nice buzzing little street. Beautiful little roads. So this over there is the Holy Church of Pantlemon, and the reason I know that is because the building I'm staying in is right opposite number 128. So all I've got to do now is hang around until check-in time. Straightforward. I love this little neighbourhood though. Lots of little cafes, little bakeries, coffee shops. Very chilled, very social. So I needed a bit more change because I've got to pay some city tax to the woman. It's like $52, about 52 euros, about $8 high season, $8 euros high season, €2 low season. So I needed some change. So that is the famous spinach pie, spinach and onion, and that is just delicious. The pastry, I don't even know what type of pastry that is. It's not phyllo, it's thicker than phyllo, but it's just absolutely beautiful. So hopefully I'll get one of those balconies up there. Very reasonably priced as well to stay in a neighbourhood like this. I'll tell you more later. Church life, a bit different to the mosques of North Africa. Sounds superb. Oh. So this place is like a multicultural paradise for food. I've never seen so many different types of food. Well, I have back in London. I haven't seen many Chinese or Asian yet, but like the bread types. Look at these for a pretzel selection. How interesting is that? So many different types of breads, biscuits, beautiful coffee, other breads. It's amazing. Delicious. Hello. Well, here we are. We are at the apartment, Sweet Home Athens, in just north of the Acropolis, about, I don't know, a couple of kilometres. So I checked in earlier and then I passed out because I was so tired. But this is a cute little apartment. Double double bed, lovely patio windows, as you would expect. It has a bathroom, nice little kitchen, it's not all dark. There you go. I can actually use a washing machine here and all that. Kettle, fridge, freezer, and then a lovely outlook. It's not at the front of the building, so it's actually really, really quiet. Overlooks like a courtyard. How cool is that? It's like, I don't know, €50 a night for a self-contained apartment. There's some good messages from the woman who owns it, so sweet as they say. About 10 minutes from the local Lidl, and probably, I don't know, 30 minutes walk into town or less. And of course there's the metro as well, Attika. So nice, good one, sweet home. So I guess in Athens you get Athenian graffiti, everything Roman. Just went to the Lidl, spent like €30. Lovely fresh salads and bread and olives, salmon, and oh my god, delicious food, Romans, delicious food. And there's olive trees everywhere as well, but there's loads of lovely little restaurants as well, so many options. My mouth's watering just thinking about it. Such a buzz, such energy. I'm trying to think how it's different to where I've been in North Africa. I mean, there's just so much, I suppose, so much more money here, you know. It's just, yeah, it's a completely different kind of vibe. But the multiculturalism has just blown me away. I mean, like every person you see is different. When I was near the church this morning, you know, people are walking about in traditional dress and so many languages, so many forms of expression, you know, it's just wonderful. And the public transport system here just looks brilliant. Apparently the most you can pay in a day is $5.50, so take as much public transport as you want. When you reach $5.50, that's it, you don't pay any more. So once you get it sussed, really convenient and cheap to get around. Awesome place. On a different note though, there's a lot of poverty here. There was a lot of people asking for the money this morning, especially outside the church when the worshippers were coming out. So, you know, there's a lot of people who look like travellers, look like gypsies, just, you know, a lot of people drinking. And when I read the reviews of the church, people were saying, you know, it's where the junkies hang out kind of thing, because it's just like a square where people can sit. So I suppose in every city you get that diverse range of wealth, and if this is maybe a less affluent neighbourhood, then that speaks for itself, doesn't it? But that adds to the colour, I guess. So many apartments, awesome. Everyone's got a balcony. Good morning. So there's the Acropolis up there. Come into town to see it last night. It looked lit up, everywhere was busy. I just got the train into town to the Acropolis red station. Very easy to use here, we just tap and pay with a bank card. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to walk up a hill where there's some free exhibits, and then that will give me a fantastic view of the Acropolis. So going to kind of do the free stuff today, and tomorrow when there's the public holiday and the Acropolis is free, I'm going to come early, line up and go and see it for free. So bonus times, it's about €30 saved, so it seems crazy not to do it. But anyway, there's lots of stuff to see around here. You've got the massive museum, and let's go and check out some exhibits in this fantastic town of Athens. Yes! Souvenirs look a bit different in this part of the world. It's not just fridge magnets. Every type of statue and god attribute that you can imagine. Yeah, so basically I'm on my way to the sites on Nymphs Hill. There's a number of ruins and monuments there, so we're heading up there. And over there we have the Odeon of some ancient person, so we'll go and see that later if it's free, because why would you want to pay if it's free? That's the plan. This is a lovely area. Obviously there's a lot of tour buses, there's hop on, hop off, taxis, guided tours, so yeah. Oh, that is the Odeon of Hercules. So no taxi, marché, or walking as they say in other languages. Wow, that is a good view. A good view of the Acropolis from the south side this is. You don't get so much rock in the way, oh my god. Look at that, that is fantastic. So I'm ascending this track and I want to get the views just halfway up because I know they're going to be phenomenal by the time I get to the top. So, oh my god, this is so exciting. Now there's so many words here, if I read it all out to you, I won't even understand what I'm talking about. It will just go straight in one ear and out the other. But basically they're saying that this was carved as a seating area at some point to overlook the Parthenon and the Acropolis, and this hill over time has had many uses, but basically it was dedicated to the Muses. And it just says here it takes a commanding position directly across from the Acropolis and was the stronghold of the Athenians, who according to myth fought against the Amazons. So as with a lot of history, there's some vague stuff and some stuff which people are sure of, but there was never one use for something this old. It would have been repurposed, but you can see the effort people went to carve out the side of a hill and carve these little recesses. And if I was out for, if I had a picnic and I was going to come to see something back in the day, I think I would have come to sit here and look at that. Believe it or not, this is actually the view that I came to see, not to actually be amongst it, because it will be great to see the actual size of the Parthenon when I'm there, but just to see this view and to see the commanding position it had above Athens. I mean, you couldn't help being in awe, would you, if you was a citizen, looking up at the grandeur of what had been created by the people in power at the time. It's just an incredible sight, so fantastic. I'm going to go up and see that structure up the top now, find out what that is. So the view from this side is down to the port of Piraeus, where the metro does actually go all the way down there, and over there you have the Sardonic Islands in the mist in the distance. The mountains all around. Gorgeous place. The lucky Grecians. Lucky Greeks. Lycabettus Monument. The Hill of the Nymphs. I think if you was alive all that time ago and you lived in the countryside and then one day you came to Athens and you saw these monuments, you would actually, it would embed your belief in the gods, wouldn't it, that something so vast and grand could be created. I mean, it would be like, what the F? I live in a mud hut, it would just be like, God blimey. Head down to this viewpoint along there and show you what the view looks like from there. On a clear day, the view over the islands of Piraeus would be fantastic, but you know how life is. So it's a bit windy up here, I hope you can hear me, but Piraeus is basically due west of Athens. We can see a big marina some schooling or convention centres, the buildings in the distance, Sardonic Islands, fantastic views of the rock faces, more islands and thousands of radio towers or television masts up on the hill. The statue where we just was, the Acropolis, is the other side. Beautiful, beautiful spot. You see all the beautiful yellow flowers growing on the hillside here, on the rock face. Fantastic. There's also cyclamen as well, tiny baby cyclamen. I'm not sure what those are, but I'll take a guess and say some type of a crocus. But they look spectacular. So these structures are called the prison of Socrates, but it's really just a myth. You can see from the post holes which were carved into the walls, and this is from the sign back there, that this was a much bigger structure, probably 2 or 3 stories tall, but all carved into solid rock. It would have had a cistern, methods of communication, and well, just carving it into the rock is a feat enough, I reckon. Good echo? Good echo? Yeah, good echo. And used during the Second World War to hide artefacts from the museums. Apparently it was all covered in concrete, a thick layer of concrete, in case the Germans invaded. Prison of Socrates on Nymphs Hill. Old church. Piraeus Demetrios Lubadiris. Beautiful walls, flowers. So now we're going to see the Sanctuary of the Nymphs, the Pinks monument, and there's an observatory here as well. So that is where we are headed. So we've got an ancient solar clock, which I'm sure was fully functional in the day. We've got this huge carved area, and then over here we've got the altar of Zeus. So just amazing, isn't it? Mythology. Wow. Over there we've got some sort of monument, and behind it is the structure of the observatory. I'm guessing those two buildings are linked. The Greek National Observatory, which surprises me because the air is a little misty here. I'd say there's a level of pollution, but maybe when it was built it was not so polluted. But anyway, onwards. So 500 BC, the Pinks, PNYX, functioned as a place of assembly of the Athenian citizens at the end of the Archaic period. And I mean, it's all a bit loose now kind of thing, but we are, I'm guessing, over here somewhere. Yeah, here's the observatory, so we're here, we're about there, and you can see from the way this huge section's been carved that if it was an assembly point then it was pretty spectacular. Hard to imagine what it would have looked like back in the day, but phenomenal. Yeah, so we've got the Sanctuary of Zeus, the sundial which we just saw, and then the rest of the information talks about what it was like over the centuries. Now I'll be posting a lot of this on Google Maps under my name, Kevin Costello, so if you want the detailed information I'll be taking pictures of all this and posted it on Google Maps, so there you go. So walking away from Nymphs Hill now, past the Agora site, which I might leave for another day, and walking towards the central market, because a lot of the shops are closed tomorrow. I'm going to go to the markets, which is a fresh produce market, see what they got there, try and get some nice fish, and head back to the apartment and regroup for the next exploration. But this is like a full touristic zone, lovely cafes, souvenirs, it's a nice park. So yeah, lots to see here, and you don't have to pay for it all, so that's nice. What's really surprised me here as well is that the prices are not a piss take. It's not exorbitant. I mean, the food is, from what I've had so far, is pretty good quality, and considering we're in the heart of Athens, in a tourist zone, I mean, it's not too badly priced. If it was in London or Paris, I mean, everywhere's like airport prices. But this place is, yeah, surprisingly reasonable. I think it's just because there's so much competition. Well, I don't know what it is, but it is pretty reasonable. And it's a lovely place to walk around. It's such a mixture. It's not overly developed. There's loads of shops where locals would shop, or people who are working in the district. So, you know, it's kind of, yeah, you feel at ease, you know, you feel that everything is within your grasp. It's not like, you know, everything is going to put you into bankruptcy. So, and even though the monuments themselves might be a little bit more expensive, I mean, you know what you're paying for. You're paying for restoration. So this is Monastiraki Square, where I came last night to get my first view of the Parthenon. Buzzing little place, lots of old buildings, central metro station here where you can change to get onto the other lines, to one of the 3 major lines. So it's a buzzing place. And obviously a meeting point and a busy place for tourists. Lots of cafes. Anyway, let's go and find these produce markets. Varvakios Principal Central Markets. Produce are plenty. So now we've been to a few markets in our time, haven't we? So how is this one different? So what have we got? Butchery. Oh my god, it looks so clean compared to what I've seen recently. Lots of meat. Oysters. I'm going into the fish section. So very reasonable prices. And lots on offer. And then lots of cafes, places where it's all prepared. Some lamb. So this is Kotsa Square. Finally got some shrimp in the market, €4 for a kilo, and I saw them as cheap afterwards as €3 for a kilo. So I didn't want to get the big ones, which are all head. I wanted to get the smaller ones so I can eat the head as well if I cook them right, like really fry them up good. And here we have Harmonia Square. There's a metro station named after this as well. So sorry mate. So it's easy to find. Harmonia Square. And there's the metro entrance just there. So Romus, about 12 minutes from where I'm staying is one of the top rated parks in Athens. So I've walked around a lot of town today, you know, seen the Hellenic ruins from the hilltop, that type of thing. So before it gets dark, I'm going to go and have a look at this park. It's got various statues here and all that type of thing. So what's it got? It's got a statue of Athena, it's got beautiful fountains, there's a theatre, and obviously lots of grass and trees and all that type of thing. So we're in the balcony precinct and we're on our way to the park. I'll see you when I get there. Can't give you the exact name of this park, but it's near Victoria metro station, or as they say in Greek, Victoria. But it is a vast park with sandy paths, and it should be easy enough to find. Yeah, and as I say, the landmarks are the statue of Athena and various other bits and pieces. The Alsos Theatre, and there's some of the Greek names which you might come across. But it's nice and densely planted, so that helps to absorb all those gases from the cars, and you know, you get that real natural sense of greenery. Absorbs the sound, gets you back to nature. Very calming and relaxing. And I just realised, of course, I don't know anything about the native species of Greece, whether these are imported or whether these are, I mean, obviously I recognise something like these exotics, we would call them, when I was in England. So yeah, I don't really know anything about the native species here, but I'm pretty sure that that's a Spartan's hat. That looks like a native church. Very beautiful native church. And there's an old boy having a lay down. A statue there. It's a great sculpture. Yeah, he's having a rest. He's got a moustache. No inscription that I can tell. Lovely central fountain. Nice cafes, flowery trees. And way up there is a statue of Athena with a shield and looking very proud, looking up into the distance. And I guess a leopard or whatever that is protecting her. It's quite a modernist interpretation of Athena, I'd say, but very impressive. She's almost unreachable, isn't she? She's so high. And there we have the statue of King Constantine I. I've no doubt that he did a lot of good work, and he's much beloved by the people of Greece. So I might do some research on him later. King Constantine. And I think we've got this part covered at that point. So rumours. It's the Ohi public holiday today, commemorating in 1940 when the Greeks said no to joining Mussolini's fascist alliance. So I was going to go to the Acropolis and take advantage of the free entry, but I feel so tired. So basically I'm going to go to the Botanical Gardens, which is also free and a lot less crowded, hopefully. Metro. So Syntagma Square station is closed, so it looks like we're in for a kilometre or so walk. A beautiful old church. Lots of people around today. Also lots of police, because you know, considering the nature of well, the political nature of this day and resistance and war and all that, then I don't know whether trouble is expected. But I did read this morning that the US has the United States has said, like, to their citizens who come on holiday here, stay away from demonstrations, you know, watch out for petty theft, that kind of thing. So I wouldn't say there's a tension in the air, but it's probably just me because I'm tired. Well, apparently there's a big parade and it looks like the Botanical Gardens are closed, and I can't get across to actually access it because the parade is coming this way down to Syntagma Square, so I need a new plan. In fact, I think I'm heading back to the apartment. I'm going to chill out for the rest of the day. I've got a busy week ahead, loads of stuff planned, there's loads to do here, there's going to be loads of walking, so I think it's a sign, isn't it? If you can't get to the Botanical Gardens, then retreat, retreat. Have a beautiful big church. I can see the bell tower there. I bet that sounds amazing. Would have just missed them as well. 10 past 11. It's quite plain, other than the doorways, but gorgeous, and the windows all in marble. Lovely. It's near the Acropolis Plaza. Beautiful. Everyone's got flags. They're selling flags everywhere. Very, very patriotic day. Day of resistance to fascism. Wonderful. Yeah, so as you get further away from out of town, pretty much everything's closed, so definitely a good choice just to have a day resting, I think. Don't know what I expected. I thought there'd just be heaps and heaps of people around, but it's a quiet place, a quiet day. They have these thrift shops here where I bought a jacket the other day. They're fantastic. Everything's like sort of 3 or 4 euros. I've got a lovely waterproof breathable jacket for like €5. It's incredible. You know, good size, good quality, not so old. It's just, shops are everywhere. They sell mainly like, well, this time of year anyway, like warm clothes, shirts, jumpers, sweatshirts, hoodies, that type of thing. Good morning, rovers. So I woke up really early this morning, so I thought I'd come up to Lycabettus Hill and see the sunrise. There's a big church up here, and I noticed when I was on the on another hill the other day that this is the highest point in Athens, unless you're up on one of these mountains. So I set off, and after many steps, these are the views I'm rewarded with, which I'm sharing with you. How fantastic. The sunrise is going to come up in the other direction over there, but I wanted to see the Acropolis from here. So the Acropolis and the Parthenon are just there, and I'm glad that they're still lit, because, you know, it makes them look pretty awesome. But this is Athens. I mean, it's just phenomenal, isn't it? It's just unbelievable. Fantastic spot. Really, really wonderful. Anyway, I'll catch you sunrise in a minute. Colours are amazing. The sun's not up yet. Well, it is. It's above the horizon, but it's behind those hills over there. But the colours just look fantastic. Pinks and blues and the shadows of the clouds. Port in the distance, twinkling lights, and the boats. Clouds on the hilltops. This is what roaming's all about, isn't it, eh? So as the sun gets higher and starts hitting the buildings, it's just stunning view. Thank you, Athens. To the old Olympic site down there. There's an Olympic museum there. You can see the old stadium, big concrete structure. Beautiful. Come on, son. So Romans, for the afternoon's entertainment, we have come to the end of the Green Line, the Metro Line, and we are at the port city of Piraeus. So let's get out and do some exploring. So we've come from Victoria there, all the way to the port of Piraeus. It's where port ships go from, but there's also beach areas here and all that, so I'll just come down to have a look at the sea. So there's no shortage of ferries here, that's for sure. Straight out of the train station, there's heaps of them. Busy port. So there's everything here, massive cruise ships, many cruise ships. Saronic ferries. An awesome looking place. Busy port. Oh yeah. So if you're in Athens and you want to come to some beaches, come by train to Piraeus, and there's a tram system which runs all the way along the coast, and apparently that's where the Athenians go if they want a day out at the beach. Beautiful old church over there, big grand buildings, lovely parks, looking good. Now you see they have the trolley buses as well, which run on the electrics, same as in the sea. Another beautiful old church. So another massive church, broad alleyways, and I'm guessing that is one of the cruise terminals. At first I thought it was a fish market, but that's where all the cruise boats are. Oh, actually it's under construction, it could be anything, couldn't it? And there's a tiny church, massive church. It's a Silver Sea cruise line, I never heard of it. Silver Spirit. Beautiful view of the mountains in the background there, all the apartment buildings. Fantastic. Lots of real estate. Some nice artwork, nautically themed. I just worked out that it's not all like ocean views from this part because the port terminal dominates, but once we get past that, up the road here a bit, then we should get some nice views of the marine environment. Finally, we're free of the port. There you have a view of the Saronic Islands in the distance and the beautiful Mediterranean Sea. People swimming no less. A beach of sorts. Oh, lovely. Lots of seafood restaurants. Can't be bad. So there you get a view of the port proper, where they unload all the container boats. Wow, some of the views from those apartments up there. Amazing scenery in the port of Piraeus. This is a really pleasant corniche or esplanade or whatever you want to call it. I'm a little bit sore after walking up Mount, whatever it's called, Mount Lycabettus. I was thinking about that this morning, but whew, fantastic. And this is the first time I've worn long trousers in 6 months as well, so that's a bit weird, but you know, adaptability. So this little suburb is called Paraiki. Lovely apartments, so many seafood restaurants. Tiny little church, bless the fishermen. So this is a stretch of coastline I could see from Mount Lycabettus this morning, particularly that tall tower that they're building And those are obviously the beaches you can access via the tram system. Gorgeous views. So I just took a bit of a shortcut and we've come out at the marina. And a huge marina it is, my god, what some beautiful boats. Big yachts. Gorgeous. The city of Athens in the background over there. Very nice. Wow, what a fantastic harbour. These are probably the last views I'm going to give you of Piraeus for today, because I'm going to cut through a side street and then go back to the metro and go back to the apartment and have some dinner. But it's been a fantastic walk. I mean, really you need a whole day here. I mean, it is that nice kind of thing. You could come have a swim, have some lunch, yada yada yada. Anyway, gorgeous. So maybe just one more view as the sun goes down. We've got a bottle of water for €1, and for €2 we have a can of mimose. I don't even know what it's called, but let's crack it open and have a drink of this beer. 5%, smelling good. Very nice. Highly recommend Greek mimose. Good morning. So today, just jumped off the train at Syntagma Square. This is where I come the other day where the great big march was for our Hio Day. So today we're going to go to the Botanical Gardens, which is across the road there. And then there's some people on TikTok which have recommended a few of the old neighbourhoods which are below the Acropolis. So yeah, we're going to have a wander around those next. But first, let's get into the Botanical Gardens and have a look. The National Botanical Gardens of Greece, no less. So here we are, the National Botanical Garden of Greece, and it is looking awesome. Just going to have a wander around. If I see anything particularly outstanding, I shall show you on this video. So it's a nice, shady, tranquil spot. There's not great big collections of plants from different continents. It's just a lovely, relaxing place to have a stroll. And I'm sure in the summer you'd appreciate it tenfold, because you know it was cool and covered and yeah, very pleasant. Ponds and lily pads, statues of famous Greeks, famous covered archways. Looks like some wisteria, beautiful creepers currently under repair. So the park is split up into a few different bits, which was a bit disorientating at first, but there's a few markets on, which look pretty cool. We're going to go across to this other section where there are some Roman baths. So we're going to have a look at them. More statues. So the Roman baths are a separate structure. Wow, what a well-defined archaeological space. Fantastic. The Roman baths. God, what a find. I was probably digging for something and then come across this just huge remnants of a bygone era. Not sure how they were bathing during those times, but maybe these little chambers, they put the fire underneath to heat up the water. There's a sign over there, we'll see what we can see. So this was discovered when they were building a ventilation shaft for the metro for Athens. And someone come across all these remains. So there you go. So all the underground structures are basically to make sure the hot air was circulated and that the water was heated so people could bath. So there's furnaces and ventilation shafts, but that is the nuts of it in essence. Fantastic. Wow, this place is just chock full of history. There's buildings everywhere. Must be really exciting being a bulldozer here, a bulldozer driver. You know, they must have special instructions. If you come across any marble, stop immediately. It's probably a Roman artifact or Greek artifact. Oh my God, don't say Roman, for God's sake, get my head chopped off. No, but you know what I mean, it would be like, be careful, there's antiquity everywhere. So here we have the Arch of Hadrian in all its glory. I mean, that is huge. If you can see the lorry in the background there, you can get an idea of the size and scale of it. You could drive a double-decker bus through there quite easily. It's enormous, beautiful arch. And so over the back here we have the Temple of Olympian Zeus. Again, the columns are absolutely phenomenally big in scale. Now I'm not going to spend 10 or 20 euros to go in there and have a wander around because there's not much to it, but you can see from the scale of it, it is enormous. Good. Can you imagine the noise that it would make if one of those columns fell over? You can see where one has toppled there and fell into segments. So awesome. More free stuff from Noggin's Rhymes in Athens. The Botanical Gardens and fountains. So we're on the way now to the original, or not the original, but one of the early Olympic enclosures, one of the stadiums, which we should be able to see from outside. So that will be good. So the Panathenaic Stadium goes back to 1896 and celebrates 2,500 years of Olympian sport and struggle. My God, what a colossal stadium. Built in the style of antiquity, you know, kind of amphitheatre style. It's enormous. Not going to pay to go in. 10, 15, 20, 30 euros for all these things. You get a style of the grandeur. I don't need to walk up the steps. I mean, that is just incredible. But we know what went on there. A lot of effort and a lot of struggle. Got the Olympic rings in the background there. The Greek national flag. Fantastic. Awesome. Vast. Anyway, it's a hot day. Pant legs have been zipped off. So the two suburbs I've been recommended are Attika and Attika, which I haven't said correctly, but I'm interested to see the old kind of Athens, you know. Unstable streets, you know, you got to walk up and down, in and out, little narrow laneways, that type of thing. So let's go and have a look. So just a quick view of the mountain, Mount Lycabettus, where I climbed up yesterday. I know that's not the way to pronounce it, but you know, life's like that, isn't it? Neighbourhood, the old neighbourhood of Attika, just below the Acropolis that you can see up the top right there. Yeah, so this is Athens on a small scale, isn't it, you know? Built for when there was less traffic and less congestion. And people weren't so grand in their visions of architecture. Oh, what a place to live with the Acropolis towering over you. Cafes, parks, fancy restaurants, trattorias. Beautiful Athens. It's not my cup of tea, but there you go. Pretty much a tourist zone. Lots of groups coming through with their lanyards on from the cruise ships. I mean, it's very quaint, but don't know what it offers me, particularly as a long-term travel. I think it's good to embrace everything of a place though, so if this is what people come to see, then fair play to it. But it does have some original remnants still there. That looks like a bathing hole or a cistern, and that looks like a very lovely old building. So yeah, I suppose you have to hunt out the parts which are meaningful to you, don't you? Lovely old style church. Anyway, so the next neighbourhood we're looking for is Attika. I know that's not the way it's pronounced because they speak really fluently. Anyway, let's get this taxi out of the way and we'll head into Attika. Now this place seems immediately more rural in origin. Yeah, so you can see some of the original architecture exposed there. Can't really build that into a restaurant, can they? But a big food influence. Basically it's all about eating and drinking here, so beautiful, beautiful place. Enough for Attika and the Acropolis up there. So down there you can see the columns and the gate. That is the old Roman Forum of Athens from a bygone era. So another freebie. You can walk around, get a good look at it, see what's going on. The Roman Forum. And here we have Hadrian's Library and some fantastic buildings on that hill in the background. I'm on holiday, I don't want to go to a library, you know what I mean? Anyway, I think that will about do for this morning's excursion. I'm going to head back and have some Attika. See you, Adrian. Actually, big foul. That is Hadrian's Library there. That huge complex. So yeah, that is Hadrian's Library. And obviously he had a lot of books, because there's a fair size to that exhibit. Hadrian's Library. It's all columns and blockwork, and I've got a little bit of historical fatigue, you know, so a bit of a park, a bit of a port, a bit of a remains. Beautiful. Good day. Have a bit of free Rome, free Greece rather, or to stop saying it's Rome, Kev, it's Greece. Anyway, I just come down to get me ticket for tomorrow, so I was thinking that I was be getting a winter ticket at reduced price, but no, €30. There's another public holiday on Sunday, but apparently the crowds will be too much, so I have secured my €30 ticket for the Acropolis tomorrow. So awesome. Nice quiet day in Athens. A few movies. Look at the views down there, look. Hadrian's Arch. Fantastic place. So Rome, as the day has come, we are going up to the Acropolis. Ticket purchased, have to enter between a certain slot of 10 to 11 AM. So we've got 10 minutes before we can enter, and then we're going to go and see it in all its lofty grandeur. Really looking forward to it, and it's a nice cool day as well. I don't know what the views will be like, but let's do it. So this is it, we're through the gates. God, I've planned this for so long, hey? I was like almost panicking that the tickets were going to fill up or blah 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 or whatever, and there was the budgetary concerns as well. Let's get the half price ticket, let's go on a public holiday, but this seems perfect, so let's get it looked at. There's a lot of different sites in the Acropolis complex, but basically that's where you want to be in it. You want to be up the top there. So loads of good signage. This is basically about the fundamental building blocks, the retaining walls of the Eastern Parados. In other words, the thing that holds it all up, makes it look good. The Theatre of Dionysus. Great views of the mountains. Fantastic. God, what an historical monument. I feel blessed to be here, that's for sure. I'm sure everybody else does as well. So much work to build that, God almighty. And fundamentally we're talking hundreds of years BC. And you know, all these buildings and structures would have been altered over time and modified to suit the needs of the people and the empire or whatever was going on. So as you walk around the ruins, they show you what it would have looked like when it was fully constructed in you know, graphic fashion, in like an architect's drawing, so you get a sense of what the complete structure would have looked like. Well, the easiest thing to imagine is just the size, like the enormity of the blocks that you see, like the ruins and the remnants, and the commanding views of Athens. Over the fence here is the Odeon of Herodes Atticus, which is a separate entry thing, and apparently they have concerts there, etc. But I was told and read that you could actually come and see this right when you enter.
La parte interior con la parte exterior del muro, y si miran allí todo recto van a ver también.
Fantastic looking structure. Great place to catch a concert. The views are starting to be incredible. That's a hill I went up on one of the first days I was here, with the views over to the Bay of Piraeus. You ascend by the north slope, enter on the south side, past the east side, and then up on the north slope. Views over to Piraeus in the distance. So, as we can imagine, it's obviously a busy spot. But well worth the crowds, I reckon. That's down there is the Temple of Hephaestus, planning that for tomorrow. You'll be able to see that when it's free on public holiday tomorrow, so a bit of a bonus. First view of the columns. My God, it's immense. Reminds me of Egypt at first glance. Huge columns, massive structures. So you can see the stonework, where you can also see the little bits of marble facing. When that was all marble faced, I mean, that would just look, it's like as grand as a Taj Mahal. All the hillsides carved. Incredible views. Lots of work still going on.
Can you take a picture?
So that is it, that is the money shot. That's what everyone comes to see. I mean, that is just... And from what I just saw, it was built over a period of 10 years after the sacking by the Persians. So I mean, that is just... That's a lot of work, isn't it? Mind you, probably thousands of people working on it. It's Lycabettus Hill, where I was the other day. I've seen, you know, tried to walk up hills to see this from different angles before I actually came here. Restoration of the Parthenon, 1992, 1993, 2001, 2004, and it's still going on. Fixing the beams and the various bits and pieces. But we're lucky today, there's nowhere near as much scaffolding as in this lower section. There's just the structural supports. They are huge columns. I mean, I'm a big bloke and that is massive. So this is a northeast facing side, and it's unusual from the rest of what I've seen because there's still some sculptures there. There's a horse, there's some reclining men sitting down, and then various motifs along the side there. Imagine it in its heyday. I don't suppose they'll ever be able to fully represent what it looked like in the originals, you know, unless they found drawings or whatever, but it's marvellous. Even though there's lots of people here, there's still space to move around, take a seat and just take it all in. It's a sort of place which is so awe-inspiring, it actually makes you feel quite quiet inside. Like so many would have people come up here and just stared in wonder over time. It's like, you know, a collective gobsmack feeling, like, say what?
Let's go.
Piraeus in the background there where I was the other day. So this is some of the earliest information I've seen about early structures. Goes back to 1,300 years BC. The temple of Nike Athena. Just do it, baby. Gives you a good view of the Odeon, the east slope where we come up earlier, Archaeological Museum, and then out to the Saronic Islands. So many viewpoints up here. I mean, even if this was just a hill, so many viewpoints over Athens. It's fantastic. 10 out of 10. Yay! So now we're up the north slope. Not sure exactly what there is to see here, but this is obviously more natural rock where there's less reinforcement and building blocks to support it. Beautiful rock it is too, natural vegetation. Got the wall of Hyperpente. So that's it. Acropolis tour over. That was remarkable. I've got a slight feeling of not underwhelmed, but just the calmness it gives you. It's like, you know, as you walk amongst it, it's just like very amazing and totally recommended. Just going to go up onto this hill now. The Apostle Paul in Athens, where apparently the Apostle Paul did some preaching. So if you know your biblical history, then you'll know the fundamental importance of the hill of the Apostle Paul. So this is Lycabettus Hill, and I'll just point out over there, it's where a spring come down to feed the water for the Parthenon and the structures on the hill up there. So Lycabettus Hill, where Paul done his work back in biblical times. Bit of scrambling needed. This is extremely slippery marble up here. It's been walked on for thousands, millions of times, so be careful. I nearly went arse over tit, as they say in England. So fully slippery. What a nice viewpoint. Right, more great views of the layout of the whole complex surrounding the Acropolis as well, Lycabettus Hill. And that's it. We're pulling the camera out. That's all we're doing now for the Acropolis. Hope you enjoyed looking at it. It's fantastic. So I jumped off the train at Attika, went to the supermarket. Now we're just in the market. Saturday market. Sometimes there's a flea market here. Lots of fresh fruit and veg, fresh produce, clothes, nuts, sweets, normal market stuff. It's good to see though, isn't it? Good to see where the locals shop. Get a bargain. Get some dates, some pasta, local produce, and it's all very reasonable. 150 euros for them tomatoes. I just bought some tomatoes. They're gorgeous, isn't they? Look at the size of them. Fresh salad leaves. Lots of spinach for the spinach pie. Good old Athens. Plenty of fresh fish as well. Not as cheap as at the fresh produce market in town, but very fresh. All sorts available. So anyway, that leaves us with one more full day in Athens. What will happen? I might even go out later on, who knows? Hello Romers, so today is my last day in Athens. Now I thought I was going to go and be visiting some more historical places today, but two things have happened. Number one, there's not a public holiday. The woman at the kiosk at the Acropolis was telling me porky pies, so there is no free entry into all the sites. But more importantly, number two, I have a blister on the bottom of my foot. Now I'm going to Corfu tomorrow. I've got a flight about midday, so I'm going to just stay home and rest and probably upload this video and all that type of thing. So I'm gonna take a picture of this lovely church opposite the apartment where I'm staying, and I'm going to end the vlog here and say, look, I've had a fantastic time in Athens. I've really enjoyed seeing all the historical sites, but just this neighbourhood I'm staying in has really impressed me. It's like being in New York. It's so multicultural, there's so vibrant, there's so much energy, there's so much stuff going on. Fantastic. Visit the neighbourhoods of Athens. Brilliant. Anyway, I love you and leave you for now. Peace and love everyone, and Noggins roams out from Athens, Greece.